Hello, beautiful, again from the hub. I had a question come up with a one-on-one client of mine and also in the Highest Vision program. And I want to speak to that because I think right now a lot of people are going through intense experiences. I've heard from a lot of people that these days feel really wild. And first of all, I want to absolutely normalize that as part of your journey of awakening, of spiritual evolution, however you want to call it, those experiences will be there from time to time. And what I want to speak to in this live is what a fucking difference it makes how we relate to the stuff that comes up. And so the question that one of my clients asked is, David, what do you do if something really strong internally comes up? Do you turn to someone for support? What is it that you do there? And another participant in the Highest Vision program asked, what do you do if some traumatic material comes up where you want to shift your focus towards what it is that you want to create, but it doesn't really work? And so I want to share this here publicly because I think this is really important and this is really helpful, because one shadow that I see, especially in embodiment-oriented, trauma-informed circles, is that we start sharing our struggles a lot and we start creating a lot of narrative around it, which, rather than helping us actually move through it effectively, solidifies this. And that's why I call this live no pity, is because I often experience that when we start sharing with people from this place of, oh, we're going through something intense, people, unless they are very trained, and I'm going to speak to that in a moment, what they very often will do is they will feel some sort of pity for you. It's like, oh, that must be really tough. And then what will also happen is that, this is how I experience it, is like there's a sort of relief in seeing that we all struggle. And of course, there's a truth to that we all face challenges. But what I've been observing in the past months is that it's almost this kind of like, I'm not alone in my challenges. But in this, I'm not alone in my challenges. There's a staying smaller than I actually am. And what I find so incredibly empowering, and those are the only people, honestly, that I really openly share my struggles with, is when someone can be with you, can see you and be with you in your challenges, but can at the same time 100% see that you are so much bigger than that. And when people work with me, they are going through intense experiences. But the work that we do is not this constant focus on emotional processing and oversharing and talking about our challenges and where it's coming from and why it's here and why we experienced it for the first time. I don't experience that to be very effective. So what I practice and what I share when working with clients is, the more we are able to just let challenging experiences come up inside of us and just move through without understanding why it's there, without creating a big narrative around it, without putting it into a specific box like, oh, this is grief, oh, this is traumatic material, oh, this is anger. Maybe in some moments this can be helpful to be like, that's what I'm experiencing. But I'm very cautious about putting these names on top of it, because it reduces the experience and very often it solidifies it rather than helping us just move through it effectively. So yes, of course, you're gonna experience intensity, you're gonna face uncomfortable things coming up, you're gonna face all the old programs that are inside of you that need to be released for you to align with whatever it is that you truly want to create in your life. And I think we're in times right now where that is ever more intensifying, this process, this cleansing, this purging. And so I'm not saying you have to deal with this all by yourself and whenever you share it, you're recreating it. What I'm saying is that I find it incredibly helpful to only share it with people who don't turn this into a narrative about me and where there's this kind of like shared commiseration of like, yeah, it's really life is really tough right now, and yeah, we're all really struggling. It's like, whoa, this is really intense. Okay, here I am, right? Like I remain upright. I'm able to face it because I know I'm so much bigger. That is the orientation that I have, and to be honest, I don't see that very much in embodiment trauma, like embodiment-oriented trauma-informed circles. Now, of course, the flip side of just like repressing it and pretending it's not there, well, that's not helpful either. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding a way to, and this is why embodiment is so important, is to let those things be in your body, let them move through without the need to create a whole narrative around it. Might there be specific moments and situations where it's helpful to be able to frame it and understand why it's there? Yeah. But then we let go of it again. The moment we start solidifying our narratives, and the only place that wants that is our mind. The soul doesn't care why there's some sort of experience there and what's moving through us, right? Like as long as I'm in a place of I trust life, then I can face uncomfortable things and I can be with them. And I can even, so this is another thing that I've shared with some of my clients on the Highest Vision program, that what we want to train over time is that sometimes the task is to shift your awareness. So some sort of program is here, some bullshit about, some story about life that doesn't feel really helpful comes up, and the practice is, let me shift my attention, let me shift my awareness to what it is that I actually want to focus on, that I actually want to create. Hey, Sandra. Sometimes the invitation will be to be with the thing that comes up and give it all the space that it needs. And I know that in the beginning this can be really confusing. It's like, well, shit, what is it that I'm supposed to do right now? Should I shift my focus right now, or should I put my full attention on what is coming up? And I experienced that over time, the discernment becomes more clear. That I can sense, okay, well, this is just a moment for me to be clear on what it is, like what do I want to feed that is part of my current experience, and I shift my attention. And you will notice that sometimes that does not work, and in those cases, that's probably an invitation to meet the experience more fully and to give it more space for it to be able to release. And just to give you a bit more context of where this is coming from. So in the past, I had some quite strong health issues, and for example, with my skin. And it's fascinating to me how much you can learn about another person by how they respond or react to the challenges that you are facing and you're sharing it with them. It tells you so much about the capacity that they have to meet something challenging or uncomfortable without collapsing life into this thing and, oh, this is so hard, and oh, you're so poor. And so whenever I work with someone and they go through something challenging, I don't pity them. I don't see them as this poor little thing. I see them as a powerful being that is going through an intense experience. And I'm with them with all my heart, but at the same time, I see that they're so much bigger than the challenge that they're facing. And again, this is something that I don't see being practiced in this capacity very much in circles that are focused a lot on healing. What's going on there a lot is this kind of collapsing into, yeah, this is so challenging, and wow, this must be so hard. This is so, and it just reaffirms something in us, which is very different from like, yeah, you're a powerful creator. You chose to align with something that is really important to you in life, and now there's stuff coming up as part of the choice that you have made. So bringing back the agency of like, well, you are aligning with a greater vision that you have for your life. Makes sense that there's old stuff coming up to be released. There's no need to pity anyone in this. We can have deep compassion. We can be there with our heart, but we don't need to make it mean that, oh, this must be so hard for them. Oh, they're so poor. Oh, maybe they did something wrong. Whatever narrative that might come up around those experiences, they are just creations of the mind, and they are not necessary. What is necessary is the ability to be present in your body, to be able to create an ever greater field within you where discomfort can come up. It can be part of your experience without it being the main thing, the one thing that's there. We don't need to collapse into this experience. We can still be expanded, we can still be connected to a greater vision and these things coming up. So for example, I can say that from my own life, the moments where something like whatever, like some deeply traumatic experience or something like this comes up and it completely takes me over, these days, it's happening super rarely. And of course, I experience on a regular basis strong discomfort coming up within me, but in those moments, most of the time, I have enough space within me to understand, oh, this is not my natural state. There's actually a wave coming through of old material to be released, and I'm staying with part of my awareness with the understanding that my natural state is joy, expansion, and love. And so when you have that, uncomfortable experiences lose their sting. Like, so what? So what you have a bad day? Who cares? Like, you're aligning with the most powerful version of you. It's worth having a couple of shitty days. So when we can put this into that context of why is this even coming up? Well, it's coming up because you're aligning with something much bigger. And as part of this process, you will meet things that are not in alignment with that greater vision. And so when I am in that state, it's okay for things to be uncomfortable for some time. And when I can practice in those moments to remember this will pass, and not only this will pass, but this will lead me into a more aligned and cleaner inner space. So there's a reason why this is happening. I think one of the biggest struggles that we have when something uncomfortable comes up is this idea that, oh, I did something wrong, life is against me, I need to massively do something right now because otherwise everything will fall apart. And those are all just mental programs. Life just moves, and as long as you're clear on what you want to create, these waves of discomfort will be in service of what it is that you want to bring more of into your life. So, we don't need, from my perspective, this overly emotional processing where we go into all sorts of stories and reasons. What we do need is the ability to hold the discomfort in our body, let it move through us, and remember that we're always bigger than the discomfort, and we're absolutely able, we have the capacity to be with those experiences without being absorbed by them. And even if you're absorbed by them, that's fine. You'll get out of it as well. You don't fail your journey of awakening because you have a couple of shitty days and make some wrong decisions. That's just not how it works. But it does take a commitment, and that's what I wanted to share from the beginning, is I only share my emotional challenges with very select mentors and some very close people in my life, because with them I know that they are able to see me beyond those struggles. They're able to be with me in the challenges because I think it can be helpful to have the sense of like, oh, cool, someone is with me here. It relaxes something in me. But also someone who doesn't reduce me to that experience. And so when, yay, thank you for the heart, when you surround yourself with people like that, it's almost impossible to stay stuck in that thing because they see you much bigger than that. And so they will catch you when you're just lost in some narrative of like, oh, poor me, everything is so hard. Why is this happening to me? Well, it's happening to you because you made a decision in your life to align with something much bigger. And that's the reason those things come up. And that's completely fine. And we can have all the compassion and we can meet each other with love, but without confirming our narratives about life is hard and poor us and all those things that keep us small. So I encourage you, regardless of whether you're working with people or this is just about your own processes, find ways to be with them, also with other people. That is actually empowering. That actually helps you move through it, and that helps you remember that you are much bigger than that. And again, this is not about repressing it, pretending it's there, being like, oh, I'm so happy when I'm not feeling happy. Like, this is not about pretending. This is about practicing being with those things in a more effective way, in a way that they can actually move through us, we can learn from them, and we can move on to the things that we actually want to create. All right? So I'm seeing some hearts coming through. I really appreciate you. Appreciate those people who are with me here live. I'm going to get dinner now here in Egypt, the hub. So I'm sending you all my love. Let me know if this was helpful in the comments. If you have any questions about this, feel free to drop them below or send me a message. And with that, I wish you the most amazing evening. I'm sending you so much love. I'm cheering you on. You're not alone in this. And I shall talk to you very soon.